And welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina. Our second regional semifinal hits the Louisville Cardinals, the third seed, against second-seeded Tennessee Volunteers, the winner to meet North Carolina. An impressive winner over Washington State earlier. Dick Enberg along with Jay Billis. Welcome back. Many thought Tennessee was the toughest of the two seeds, and others would argue Louisville the best of the three seeds.
Well, one of the reasons Louisville is the best free seed in this tournament is because of David Padgett. The senior is the heart and soul of this Louisville team. He's also the voice, a great communicator, basically a point guard playing the center position. And for Tennessee, their heart and soul is Chris Lofton, the outstanding shooter, averaging just under 16 points per game on the season, but he has struggled shooting the ball coming into this game. Only 4 of his last 18 from the field, 3 of his last 12. He's got to knock shots down against this Louisville defense.
Rick Pitino's Louisville Cardinals, they have 2 national championships in their program. McGee, Smith, Williams, Palacios, and Padgett. He's 6'11". Tennessee Volunteers with Smith, Lofton, Prince. Second start, Smith and Chisholm for Bruce Pearl. It's the winningest Tennessee team ever. Tonight's game brought to you in HD TV by HP. And the men with the whistles are Cartmel, Harris, and Pollard. Tennessee in white and Louisville in their cardinal red. Rick Pitino has beaten Tennessee teams 13 consecutive times. Volunteers with their best ever season, 31 wins, only 4 defeats, and of course the big victory that the whole nation was intrigued by, their win at Memphis, the only loss suffered by the Memphis Tigers. And it's Tennessee with the first chance. They're going to jump it again. Officials don't have a lot of practice in the toss. They'll just go with the Cardinals will get the ball first, and the arrow will belong to Tennessee. Andre McGee, 33. Jerry Smith, 34, with the ball now in the backcourt for Louisville. This is Terrence Williams. Batted away, and this Volunteer team has quick hands. Underneath to Jawan Smith, and off the turnover, Tennessee takes the early lead.
Tennessee forcing the turnover. They force close to 19 turnovers per game. They have a +5 turnover margin. That is a great margin that gives them extra possessions every game. And to start out, Tennessee going man-to-man, and they have been switching automatically on the perimeter.
Here's Padgett, the big 6'11" center, who transferred from Kansas. And the first foul goes against Wayne Chisholm of Tennessee. Wheezy, they call him. He battles asthma, but there's no sympathy in that locker room.
Louisville's going to try to get the ball to David Padgett. They run a lot of flares, a lot of dribble handoffs, and oftentimes they'll try to get angles to him in the post or drives.
Jerry Smith on the drive, not there. Chisholm rebounds.
This Tennessee team, an underrated defensive team. They can give you a lot of different looks.
A little push in the back, but Palacio got away with it as the pass intended underneath for Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith, one of the more versatile players in the country, and when Louisville goes to their 2-3 zone, which is essentially their primary defense, Smith can get into the middle of that, and he's a playmaker in the middle of the zone.
Thus far, Padgett playing 20 feet from the basket. Now he moves down along the lane and then back up on top again. He is a point center.
Just an outstanding passer when he gets the ball in the post. If you double team him, he will find open people.
7 on the shot clock. Padgett has it taken away. Another steal for Tennessee. From the wing, it's Jawan Smith, not there. Rebound to Terrence Williams.
What looks like a bad shot for most teams is just the way Tennessee plays. They are an attacking, aggressive team.
Foul's going to be called on Chisholm. And in frustration, he goes to the bench early with 2 fouls. Bruce Pearl, excellent job. 48 years young, 3rd year in Knoxville. 100th game was a win against Butler in overtime last weekend.
I'm not sure any number 2 seed has had a tougher road in this NCAA tournament than Tennessee has. In the second round, they played a very good Butler team that was perhaps underseeded at a 7. 2 teams in that game had over 30 wins apiece. That's extraordinary for a second-round game.
Willard Vincent Cruz, Duke Cruz, the 6'7" sophomore from Hampton, Virginia, replaces Chisholm, who lasts only a minute and 45 seconds before he gets 2 fouls.
Full court pressure put on by Louisville. They will show a lot of different defensive looks, and there's the versatility of Tyler Smith, taking the ball to the rim, getting fouled and finishing with the left hand.
Smith, who had the big basket late against Memphis for that win. He's fouled by Paget.
A very nice ball fake. You see the little ball fake. He threw to the right, then finishes the play to his left. Just an outstanding play by a really versatile player, Tyler Smith.
21-year-old sophomore gives Tennessee a 5-2 lead. We'll get out to Phoenix for that second game. The UCLA against Western Kentucky. And a strong drive and setup for Paget. McGee sets up the big center. It's 5-4.
Andre McGee's really done a nice job running the point, and a terrific job by David Paget to show some patience and wait for that charge to get to him without moving.
Tyler Smith with the charge. His first foul.
Tennessee likes to press man-to-man. They put size out of bounds. So Duke Cruz guarding it, and they force timeouts and turnovers. Already forcing a timeout for Louisville.
Yeah, they keep track of just that. All the turnovers on the out-of-bounds plays against the opposition. The defense really tightens the vise. The Volunteers with an early 1-point lead. The winner here in Charlotte advances to the Elite Eight Saturday against North Carolina. 55-year-old basketball bon vivant Rick Pitino, the only coach in the country to take 3 different programs to the Final Four. Providence, Kentucky, and Louisville. Took the Cardinals there 3 years ago when Carolina won the national title for Roy Williams.
So bon vivant means he wins a lot.
He can be anything he wants. When you're in that win column, and, well, he has been a winner all of his coaching life after his playing days at UMass. He was a freshman when Dr. J was a senior. Pretty good tutoring then.
Al Skinner, the coach of Boston College, on that team as well at UMass.
A walk-in goal for Andre McGee, and Louisville leads for the first time.
Louisville putting on some full court pressure, trying to make the point guard J.P. Prince in just his second start handle the ball.
Dewan Smith, a great job of catching a tough pass, and then he sets up the easy goal for Duke Cruz.
Tennessee plays in organized chaos.
Outside, it's Juan Palacios. The veteran from Columbia hits the 3. That's mishandling the ball. He stopped his dribble and then restarted for the double dribble.
Well, that's what Louisville's looking to do when they press. They want to make a big guy or a non-handler handle the ball. They want to trap it out of a ball handler's hands and make guys who don't normally bring the ball up or don't normally handle it handle the basketball.
Earl Clark is in for the first time for Louisville. You see UCLA Western Kentucky. As soon as that game's ready to tip, we'll switch you out there. Edgar Sosa also into the game for the first time with the ball for Louisville. Here's Clark, a 6'8" sophomore. And it's off his leg, out of bounds. The turnover to Tennessee.
When Earl Clark comes into the ball game, Louisville usually goes to a 3-around-2 alignment, and Clark, a very talented player that has really been on a hot streak over his last 10 games.
3 Smiths on the floor for Tennessee now. Ramar, Jawan, and Tyler. Inside Cruz unable to hit.
Good job defensively by Paget to force that tough shot. Look how he runs the floor, but out of bounds.
Bad pass by Sosa. Let him touch too much.
Sosa tried that a couple of times against Butler when Paget would leak out early after a defensive play. And Paget, when he was at Kansas and a freshman, could really run the court, but injuries have taken away some of that ability.
Chris Lofton's first 3, well off the mark. Long pass to Smith, and he is fouled by Ramar Smith.
Alert play by Terrence Williams. The 6'7" forward leads this team in assists. A very smart passer that's had 2 double-doubles on the season. Could have been more. The long shot, solid rebound, and a terrific outlet pass. That's just a great awareness of the court by Terrence Williams.
10 players on the court, 4 of them with the surname Smith, and Jerry of Louisville has his first point of the game. He's from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, a sophomore.
Leads the team in steals. He's also been shooting the ball very well in the NCAA tournament, coming into the game 6 of 12 from 3-point range. That's really been a difference in this Louisville team. They have shot the ball very well from 3, over 50% from 3 in the 2 tournament games.
Derek Character, the 6'9" sophomore, gives Paget a breather as Louisville enjoys the biggest lead thus far, a 4-point advantage.
Tyler Smith will be very important in breaking some of this full court pressure. Looks like a little bit of 2-3 zone, the primary defense for this Louisville team. And Tyler Smith going to get into the middle. If they can get it to Smith, he's a playmaker in there.
There he is, working on Character. Uses the left hand, well off. Rebound to Clark, stolen by Jawan Smith, and then the foul as Tyler Smith goes up for the shot.
You've really got to protect the ball and chin it. You've got to be strong with it because Tennessee goes after it as soon as you bring it down.
They'll be on the line when we return. 4-point Louisville lead. Dick Enberg, Jay Billis back in Charlotte. A reminder to you fans waiting for the West Region second game. Western Kentucky, UCLA, about 4 minutes away from the tip-off out in Phoenix. You can watch exclusively video of Amen Corner Live, plus the 15th and 16th holes, and bonus coverage of the entire field with Masters Extra at cbssports.com/Masters Live and Masters.org. At the line for the University of Tennessee is Tyler Smith, the sensational sophomore from Pulaski, Tennessee. 13.7 on the season. He's their top shooter from the floor, 54%, and decent from the line at 71. Misses the first.
Had a great game against Butler where he had 15 points, 8 rebounds, had a key block against A.J. Graves late in the game, and he's a big play player.
Long pass, kicks out, and then Sosa with a long pass and a good save by Jerry Smith.
A well-designed play. They stepped the man out of bounds, went long against this Tennessee pressure, trying to get away from a big guy on the ball. Tennessee does a great job of forcing timeouts and turnovers by putting size on the inbounds pass.
High pass again, and that's going to go out of bounds as Tennessee forces another turnover. 33, Brian Williams is into the game for the first time for Bruce Pearl as Rick Pitino tries to walk off another mistake by his offense. 6 turnovers by the Cardinals in just 5 minutes.
Well, if not for the 6 turnovers, when they don't turn it over, they're very efficient. 3 of 4 from the field. They've made all 4 free throws.
Lamar Smith bailed out as he had trouble handling the dribble, but it went off a Cardinal out of bounds.
Knocked away from behind by Jerry Smith, and that's one thing that Louisville does a great job. Their backflow pressure. They can back tip the ball and often back tip it to a teammate to get a turnover.
Brian Williams, he's a freshman from the Bronx who's lost over 100 pounds since leaving high school. Seeing early duty because Wayne Chisholm, the starting forward for Tennessee, picked up 2 fouls in the first minute and 45 seconds.
Got a foul here on Edgar Sosa on a hold. Tennessee running their wide flex offense, getting that flex cut along the baseline.
And Sosa will be given a seat on the bench with his second foul as the starter Andre McGee returns. Earl Clark as well back in. And Preston Knowles, number 2, sees his first action for Louisville. That's a good play by McGee to knock it away for the steal, and here he comes to the offensive end.
McGee, a little fire plug, has really been efficient over his last 15 games. Only 9 turnovers over that period. J.P. Prince trying to use his size, but McGee knocks it away.
Paget back in, handoff, and a hard handoff to McGee. Roy Clark throws it away. Another turnover for Louisville. That's 7.
Louisville just going too fast. It's almost like Tennessee's switching defense is bothering them. Tennessee's switching every exchange, every screen.
To tie from 3-point range, Tyler Smith. And here's Clark for Louisville. Watch out from behind. He does circle away from Jawan Smith.
Jawan Smith leads the team in steals and is always hunting, but perhaps that hunting left McGee open.
A 40% shooter from outside the line. Andre McGee gets a 3, and he has 7 in the game. A miss at the other end from Lamar Smith, and it's out of bounds to the men in white, the Tennessee Volunteers. A reminder, next Thursday on CBS, you can see the most extreme challenge yet when Survivor returns 1 week from tonight at 8/7 Central here on CBS.
And Tennessee going a little bit too fast on the offensive end, although David Paget had 2 different opportunities to pick up his second foul. Neither one of them called.
Cardinals with a 14-8 lead. Lofton yet to score. He's the tremendous three-point shooter for the Volunteers. And from outside the arc, not there, was Ryan Childress, who rarely plays, in early in this game. Williams bangs his way up the lane, no whistle.
How could there be no call on all that contact?
Patchett got the rebound. McGee for another three. McGee and three. That's a nice rhyme if you're a Louisville fan. Trailing by 6, Tennessee on the attack. They're 3 for 10 thus far from the floor. Lofton goes inside.
Lofton being guarded by a very good freshman defender. Preston Knowles has a lot of spring and really a resolute defender.
Number 2 is Knowles, and we watched him in practice yesterday. He's got eye-popping quickness. J.P. Prince, the left-hander, try to bank that one in, and there's a foul underneath against Louisville, and it may go against Palacios.
Take a listen to this collision as Terrence Williams drives in. And that had to be some sort of foul, whether it was a blocking foul or a charge, as Brian Williams stepped in there. You can't draw that kind of contact without any kind of call being made.
Yeah, they called that an offensive foul on Ryan Childress of Tennessee. Tennessee turns it over from Louisville again. Lamar Smith. Forced that shot.
A lot of contact, but a forced play by Tennessee on the baseline.
Palacios avoids the charge, gets it out to McGee, and it's deflected out of bounds off Tennessee. Bruce Pearl trying to help out the officials, but that belongs to Louisville. Pearl, who had a terrific 4 years at Wisconsin, Milwaukee, he took them to the Sweet 16 and then migrated down to Knoxville. Back on the floor, Jerry Smith for Louisville. And the freshman Knowles, no, he's going to stay in. Tina says, you go back in there. I want to rest Terrence Williams.
If Louisville could keep a hold of the ball against this Tennessee pressure, their offense has been pretty good when they haven't turned it over.
And meanwhile, Tennessee scoring only 8 points the first 8 minutes of the game, as the Vols have been shut out from three-point range, 0 for 5. Jerry Smith hits the three for Louisville, and the Cardinals open a 9-point early lead.
Jerry Smith is so sound fundamentally. The best shooter this Louisville team has, and when he knocks shots down, Louisville's awfully difficult to beat.
Childress, Lamar Smith, Lofton, Williams, and J.P. Prince on the floor for Tennessee. This is a lineup not often seen by Volunteer fans. Lamar Smith, he was hit, no foul again.
That was against a 2-3 zone put on by Louisville, and Tennessee has to do a better job of moving the ball, moving themselves to find openings. Palacios has Louisville with the ball, and currently in the midst of an 11-1 run. Inside to Character with the left hand. It's a 13-1 run. Bruce Pearl's going to call time. Yes, sir. The Cardinals flapping their wings here in Charlotte, take an 11-point lead. We approach the midpoint of the first 20-minute period here in Charlotte, with Louisville enjoying an early 11-point lead. With the early fouls, Wayne Chisholm going out to 1:45 into the game. It almost seemed to throw the tempo, the rhythm away for Tennessee, and Bruce Pearl using different lineups and haven't been able to find anyone to score. Well, Wayne Chisholm's the type of player that can step away, knock down a three from the perimeter, draw a big guy away from the basket, but they've also had difficulty guarding in the post.
That's going to be a travel against Jerry Smith of Louisville.
It's their 9th turnover on the game and still up 11.
Tennessee, meanwhile, Jay Billis has not hit a field goal in 7 minutes. Louisville's Cardinals in red here in Charlotte against Tennessee, and an 11-point lead, 19-8. as their defense has really shut down the Volunteers. It may be a cliche, but it's also a basketball theorem. You've got to make shots, and Tennessee is not. And Lofton, their best threat, has only taken 1 field goal attempt. There's his second, and he doesn't hit the 3. The tick not there. And McGee of the Cardinals.
Even in a 2-3 zone, it is such an active zone, but Louisville does a very good job of rebounding out of it.
Earl Clark can't pick up his rebound, and here's Jawan Smith of Tennessee. A 2-point attempt, not there. Smith got away with a push-off. Jerry Smith of Louisville.
Showing his strength, just discarding J.P. Prince. And even though Louisville's turned it over 9 times, they've been so dominant defensively. Tennessee going a little bit too fast to start the game, but they haven't been able to get anything to go.
Jerry Smith hits another tray. And it's the Cardinals bolting to a 22-8 lead. At the same time, Tennessee has missed their last 11 field goals. Who's going to end the drought for the Volunteers?
Tennessee clamping down on the post, but a terrific pass out by Earl Clark to an open shooter, Jerry Smith. Terrible shot.
Not even close for Tyler Smith. Almost a panic mode for Tennessee as they fall behind 22-8. And here's another goal for the Cardinals as Terrence Williams slams it home. An 18-1 run for Louisville. They are flying high. The Cardinals of Rick Pitino.
It's Outback's 20th bloomin' birthday. Let's celebrate.
Let's go Outback tonight.
Our present to you, our new char-grilled Tuscan ribeye seasoned with fresh herbs. Our bold new sirloin shrimp and scallops mixed grill. And our signature Outback special sirloin, thick and juicy. Classic favourites and new creations.
Let's go Outback tonight.
Here for a limited time only.
Before the party's over.
Don't miss the celebration.
With a 24-8 lead, Louisville after the bad shot by Tyler Smith. Look how nobody's looking at the basketball. You can see Wayne Chisholm with his back to the ball, and you're going to see Terrence Williams take it all the way in. I mean, you don't get that open a shot in layup lines. Chisholm just looking right at his man with his back to the ball. You have to see the ball in transition. This Tennessee team totally out of sync.
An 18-1 run by Louisville. As Tennessee, taking a lot of bad shots and not coming close, have not scored in 8 minutes and 16 seconds. And Rick Pitino's charm coaching against Tennessee, 13 consecutive times his teams have beaten the Volunteers. It's out to a huge, surprising early lead.
Tyler Smith using a ball fake there. Ball fakes and shot fakes against this zone will do wonders as Jawan Smith knocks down the perimeter shot after ball reversal.
Almost 9 minutes, and finally Jawan Smith, the senior from Cleveland, Tennessee, nails a 3. And the Cardinal lead carved the 13. Jerry Smith tries to answer with a tray. Good save there by Lofton. Ahead to Tyler Smith. Lofton can't get a shot off.
Those shot fakes are very good for this Tennessee team. They're going to get opportunities if they stick with it.
What a pass. And the Smith brothers collaborate. Jawan and Tyler behind the back for the score.
Disciplined investing. It isn't about star fund managers. At T. Rowe Price, it's about experienced investment teams that stay the course. For each 3, 5, and 10-year period, over 70% of our mutual funds beat their Lipper average. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Finally, the Volunteers with some scores, so they're playing happily, getting scholarship with 0 skills. Can you do that? Well, about as unbelievable as getting real Coke taste and 0 calories. And folks, you can win a $25,000 scholarship from Coke Zero at mycokerewards.com.
I got a scholarship with 0 skills. It's really not that hard. But how about the calories?
Out of bounds as Louisville. Jerry Smith on the pass, can't handle it cleanly, and the pressure on the out of bounds by Tennessee, true to form, creates another turnover, their 10th committed by Louisville in this first half. Nevertheless, the Cardinals by 11. All right, Greg, the Tennessee Volunteers trying to chop into that one sizable 16-point lead for Louisville. That's Tyler Smith, an acrobatic drive, and it's a 24-15 game as the Volunteers with a mini run. They've gone on a 7-0 run, but that quickly ends as end-to-end goes Terrence Williams to score for the Cardinals.
Tyler Smith becoming a playmaker in the zone, not in the middle on that last possession, but on the sideline, able to get all the way into the middle off the dribble, and then Louisville going right over the top of the full court pressure.
Chisholm inside to score, and that's back-to-back goals for him after sitting out for about 7-8 minutes with 2 early fouls. Palacios brings it in for Louisville. 7 minutes to go in the half. The Cardinals by 9. Terrence Williams, one too many hops, and that's a travel against Louisville. Rick Pitino does not agree.
Tyler Smith putting the ball on the floor. Great job by Wayne Chisholm to screen off David Padgett along the baseline, and nobody stepped in to draw a charge or stop the penetration.
Jawan Smith misses on the 3, but Tyler Smith underneath, and he's fouled. North Carolina's Tar Heels, 3 games in the tournament, 3 mighty impressive wins. They took care of Washington State by 21 tonight, 68-47. They're in the Elite 8 and meet the winner of this on Saturday.
One of the things that makes Tennessee so difficult to play against is they take some shots at odd times, and I think it even surprises the defense at times and opens up some offensive rebound opportunities off long misses, and this team really does chase down offensive rebounds very effectively.
Tyler Smith leading Tennessee with 7 points. Go for 8 as Preston Knowles and Earl Clark back in for Louisville. And suddenly a 7-point game. Clark, Padgett back outside to Knowles. Freshman can't hit. And that's a late whistle, and the call goes against Jawan Smith. His first.
Referee's right on top of it. Jawan Smith with just a push in the back of Terrence Williams, and probably didn't need to do that. He could have just held off Williams, and the ball was going to come off long. Usually a shot from one corner will go to the other corner.
It's McGee with a long 3, and it's not there. Louisville has committed only 3 fouls, Tennessee 6, so Cardinals will be at the line on subsequent Tennessee fouls.
Louisville going man-to-man on a miss, 2-3 zone on a make. They play most often 2-3 zone. They're very active in it, but you want to try to move Padgett around, get him in some pick and rolls, get him out on the floor where he can't communicate defensively with his teammates.
Jawan Smith on the drive. Padgett with a husky rebound. Long feed to Knowles. He pulls up for 2. Oh, in the scramble for the rebound, it's accidentally tipped in. They'll credit it. We'll see who they do give that basket to. There's Duke Cruz in there battling for the rebound and a whistle.
Looked like Earl Clark was the closest, but it was Tyler Smith that tipped that ball in. You can see number 1, Tyler Smith, going up to try to knock that ball away. It looked like it was Clark he was knocking it away from, but he tried to knock it forward and wound up knocking it right into the basket.
Preston Knowles picks up that last foul for Louisville, their 4th team foul, first on Knowles. Cardinals led by as many as 16 at 24-8. And there's the turnover as Tennessee trying to get within a single digit at the intermission. Now trail by 9, 5.5 to go.
Just a simple little cross screen and
kick ball, but no whistle. Chisholm able to use his leg to deflect that pass. Lofton hasn't scored, and they're going to call out a charge on Chris Lofton.
That's the second charge that David Padgett has been able to draw right underneath the basket.
Lofton unable to score as yet.
He's got to pull up there. He can't take that all the way. He's got to pull up for that short jumper off the glass and put that in.
Averaging 15.5 a game to lead the Volunteers, and one of the best three-point shooters in college basketball history. But obviously Rick Pitino's put a big man on him to defend, and now Lofton takes a breather. 0 for 2 from the floor in the game.
He's really been struggling coming into this game. He was 4 of his last 18.
He was in a boot on Monday. He's had a bad ankle foot. He says it's not bothering him. Outside, it's Terrence Williams. He misses the three. Fast-paced action. Volunteers hurry it into the offensive end. Prince to Cruz. Cruz with a great pass to Tyler Smith.
And a great backside cut by Smith, cutting to the ball, and Duke Cruz found him with a great pass.
Volunteer fans like what they see on the scoreboard. The lead is down to 7 for Louisville. Terrence Williams can't hit the runner. Battles for the rebound, and Duke Cruz is fouled by Paget.
Take a look right here at Tyler Smith. He's going to get a back pick, come right off it, and he's going to be wide open underneath the basket. Just poor communication by Earl Clark and Preston Knowles, and that allowed Tyler Smith to get the wide open layup. Give Duke Cruz a lot of credit for turning and looking and delivering the ball. A lot of guys look, but not many see, and Duke Cruz was able to see that play as well.
In that last exchange, Paget started to argue on the foul call, and then he realized that they called him out of bounds, and there's the turnover. Ramar Smith to Tyler Smith. They look at each other and say each one takes equal blame for the misplay.
Well, that's where having the lack of a true point guard hurts Tennessee. They battled their way back into this game, down just 7, had a chance to cut it even further, and you can't have those turnovers. Just deflates you. You work too hard to get back in it to give the ball away that easily.
4:15 remaining before the intermission here in Charlotte. Winner will meet North Carolina Saturday in the Final 8.
Great job by Ramar Smith to put pressure out front.
And the turnover, and Ramar Smith's defense forced it. And it's Smith all the way to score at the other end. The sophomore from Mount Clemens, Michigan. Defense to offense, a one-man show.
The strength of Ramar Smith. The steal, taking it the other way, slapping at it, and still getting it to go with the left hand. What a terrific play by a young man who likes to get to the rim. He's a driver slasher more so than a shooter, and in transition, taking it coast to coast. What a terrific play by Ramar Smith.
And he's fouled by Andre McGee, and he'll go for the three-point play as Bruce Pearl's son, Stephen Pearl, the 6'5" freshman from Knoxville, sees his first duty.
Ramar Smith second on this team in free throw attempts in large measure because he takes the ball to the basket. He is unafraid to get to the rim.
15-4 run by Tennessee to cut the 16-point Louisville lead down to 5. 3:45 left in this opening half.
You just can't relax for 1 second against Tennessee. They just keep coming at you and coming at you.
Another steal. J.P. Prince feeds ahead to Ramar Smith, and it's knocked away by Clark from behind, and it's Character all alone at the other end. Well, the organized chaos sometimes plays back into the opponent's hands.
Well, a little chaotic organization there. This has been a game of reversals. Reversals in the middle of a play. One team has an advantage. All of a sudden, the other team gets a layup.
Steal by Jerry Smith, and J.P. Prince fouls Smith to deny the basket. First foul on Prince. He thought he was fouled at midcourt. A hectic first half in the Queen City, and Louisville enjoys the 7-point advantage.
Greg Gumbel in New York will get you right back out to Charlotte after we update what's happening in Phoenix. Watch Kevin Love working down low. 11 points for Love. UCLA with a 20-13 lead. Just under 8 minutes to play in the first half. Dick and Jay, back to you.
All right, Greg, 3:14 left here in Charlotte in the first half. Louisville wants a 16-point lead, down to 7. At the line for the Cardinals is Jerry Smith, their fine sophomore from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. and that's his 9th point of the game. Interesting statistic, the turnovers have been 24 turnovers in this first half, 14 committed by Louisville. Their average on the season for a game is 13, and yet even with all those mistakes, Louisville managing to lead by 8.
You know, we often talk about toughness in a game like this, and Tom Izzo, coach of Michigan State, often says players play, but tough players win. I think in this game, smart is going to win. The team that shows a lot of smarts, and we haven't seen a ton of smarts thus far with all the turnovers and bad decisions, but smart is going to wind up winning this game.
Tyler Smith unable to hit for Tennessee, and here comes Andre McGee for the Cardinals of Louisville.
Juwan Smith does such a great job putting pressure on the ball.
3 steals in this first half for Juwan Smith, and that'll be a foul on Tyler Smith, his second. And we remind you, coming up on AT&T at the half, Greg Gumbel and the gang will take you out for a live look at that Western Kentucky UCLA game, and then you'll get caught up on all the latest tournament news plus an AT&T Naismith watch update. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. At the line for Louisville is the 6'8" sophomore from Plainfield, New Jersey, Earl Clark, averaging 11 points a game on the season and the top rebounder for these Cardinals at 8 boards a game, and leads in blocks with 54.
A great talent that's really starting to come on. He's really starting to pick things up, and especially over the last 6 games. Earl Clark has been averaging about 18 points per game over that period and has done a terrific job.
Back up to a 10-point lead on the 2 free throws by Clark. Andre McGee given a breather, and the freshman Preston Knowles, number 2, back in for Louisville.
Back to the 2-3 zone, very active up top with Knowles and Smith.
And that's Juwan Smith from long range. He hits the tray, and Juwan with 8 points for Tennessee, almost a turnover on the inbounds. Up the lane goes Jerry Smith, blocked. And that was Wayne Chisholm. And the foul will be on whom? Going to go against Louisville, and Chisholm for a moment, heart in his throat. He thought he had his 3rd foul. Jerry Smith trying to recover on the rebound, picks up the foul, and for Louisville that is their 8th team foul. And so to the other end goes big Wayne Chisholm, the 6'9" sophomore from Boulevard, Tennessee. They were the state champions of the Volunteer State 3 years ago. Makes his home in Jackson.
Well, it's interesting. We talk about free throw shooting with regard to the number 1 seed in the South, the Memphis Tigers. They shoot under 60%, but Louisville and Tennessee shoots just 66% from the field as a team, and Louisville shoots 64, and neither one of those teams drop dead from the free throw line.
Chisholm, an all-freshman performer in the Southeastern Conference last year, hits both free throws, and suddenly this game back to a 5-point contest as Tennessee has rallied. They were once down 24-8, a 16-point deficit.
Good substitution by Bruce Pearl to get Chisholm out, bring Cruz in for defense so he doesn't pick up that 3rd foul.
Character inside, can't hit the short bank. What a battle, and Character comes up with it, and the foul against Tennessee. That'll go against Duke Cruz.
Well, how about the hands on Derek Character to come up with that? Misses the first shot. You can see him just terrific feet to get that angle to the basket, little drop step, and sticks with it, and great hands, great strength.
Character, sophomore from Fanwood, New Jersey, went to Notre Dame Prep in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, has his 5th point of the game. As back comes Tyler Smith for Tennessee, and after a short breather, Stephen Pearl takes a seat next to his dad.
Character was a big-time recruit coming out of high school, and Rick Pitino said that he had the 3 things, there are 3 things you want in a player: talent, work ethic, and coachable. And Derek Character had only one of those. That was the talent, but he's really coming around with his work ethic, becoming more coachable.
That's going to be a foul on Knowles of Louisville. Meanwhile, back at the other end, you talk about both teams having trouble from the free throw line, but in this first half, Louisville's made 9 of 10.
This is a physical game. You can see Tyler Smith getting bumped and grabbed, and as he comes across half court, It was Smith who put a little bit into Knowles, but because of the contact, the referees oftentimes are going to call that on the defense.
Tyler Smith misses the free throw, a scramble, and it comes into the hands of McGee. Minute and a half to go before the break. McGee pulls up from 15. Earl Clark unable to hit the short bank. The scramble, and Tennessee wins the battle. Here come the Vols. They trail by 7. And a turnover on Jawan Smith. And that's defensive pressure, throwing Smith into the air. The 11th turnover, Tennessee.
What great effort by both Tennessee and Louisville. You can see Tyler Smith diving out of bounds to save that ball. And he's got guys really going after it on both ends and really giving great effort defensively.
The two teams combined 21 field goals and 25 turnovers. Who's going to clean up the game, or can you, with an intense defense from both the Cardinals and the Volunteers? Clark for 3. Rebound Pearl.
And Louisville's going awfully fast on the offensive end. They need to make Tennessee guard them.
Lamar Smith misses, but Pearl gives the Volunteers a second chance. 42 seconds to go. About a 10-second differential in the clock. Wow, Lofton hammered as he makes a strong drive to the iron.
Lofton trying to take advantage of a favorable matchup, just going right by Will Scott out front.
Scott just into the game, a junior from Blair Academy, New York. His first foul.
And one of the things you don't want to do when you've got a great scorer and a great shooter like Chris Lofton, who's had a bagel thus far in the game, you don't want to put him on the free throw line and give him the chance to see the ball go through the net a couple of times, to get a little bit of a feel, a little bit of taste of it. You want him to be frustrated. When you put him on the line, you give him a chance to really get his rhythm back.
That's his first point. He led the SEC in free throw shooting on the year, 83%. Hits them both to cut the Cardinal lead to 5, 35-30. He'll take a seat. 35 seconds and 35 8/10 of a second, so both clocks almost in unison here. Louisville, in essence, has a chance to go for the final shot.
Louisville does not want to turn this thing over. They also don't want to shoot the ball too early to give Tennessee a chance to come back the other way and cut this lead even further going into halftime.
Louisville has made 3 of their last 15 shots, down to 17. McGee with 14. Patchett now moves lower down into the hole with 9, 8. McGee around Pearl with 3, spins into the lane and scores. What an effort. That's the buzzer. Andre McGee. He just took it one-on-one the final 35 seconds. Let me have it. I'll give you 2, and does. And at the intermission, it's Louisville 37, Tennessee 30. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel and Company with AT&T at the half. After these messages and a word from your local station. And welcome back to downtown Charlotte. 19,000 fans enjoying the first half. Louisville leading Tennessee 37-30. Here now the in-game box score, powered by CBS College Sports Network, the 24-hour college sports channel from CBS Sports. Jerry Smith and Andre McGee, the starting backcourt for Louisville, accounting for 18 of the Cardinal points. Tyler Smith leads Tennessee with 10. Story is middle of the game, 18-1 run by Louisville to open a 16-point lead, but Tennessee gnawing away at that advantage, and we start the second half with a 7-point Louisville advantage. What do you see as key for the second half, Jay?
I think poise and being smart are going to be the keys to whoever can win this ball game.
Ready to go now in the second half. 37-30 to Louisville. The winner will meet the University of North Carolina, the top seed, on Saturday in the Elite 8. Rick Pitino's Cardinals, and Pitino's had a perfect record in the semifinals of the regionals. In his coaching career, he's 7-0 in this game's round.
Tennessee shot just 35% in that first half, yet they're only down 7. If they can get a score to start the second half, things can look a lot better, but easy and clean look for Tyler Smith. He needs to use the board to get that to go down.
Same starters for Louisville. Palacios with a strong move, and then outside to Smith. The guard play was outstanding for Louisville. That shot from McGee is not there. 7-point lead. The only time Tennessee was in front was 5-2 early in the game, but they trailed by as much as 16 at 24-8 in the middle of the first half as Louisville with that explosive 18-1 run. Again, the Tar Heels await an easy win. 68-47 over Washington State. We've got a hold away from the ball. Third foul on Jerry Smith.
Smith just trying to body up on Chris Lofton. Louisville was in man-to-man off the miss. They've been going 2-3 zone off the make.
Lofton well off the mark. I wonder if that ankle foot is bothering him. He just doesn't look sharp, does he? Hasn't been in double figures in the 3 games of this NCAA tournament.
He's now 4 of his last 21 field goals, and that makes 3 of his last 15 from 3.
Bad pass, interception, Louisville. Ahead to Terrence Williams.
Such a versatile player. Terrence Williams, a very good passer, leads the team in assists. Good rebounder, does everything well.
McGee, Smith, Williams, Patchett, and Palacios on the floor for the Red Jersey Cardinals.
Tennessee continuing to switch every exchange. That's going to give them some odd matchups, but Louisville has to take advantage of it.
Backdoor doesn't work. That's Jawan Smith, another steal, his 4th. Tyler Smith to Lofton. Good pass, good score. TJ Sprint with a nice kiss off the glass. Down to a 5-point advantage, Louisville.
Oh, what a nice pass from Chris Lofton, and Prince, a left-hander, going with that left hand, and he was recruited by Lute Olson to Arizona as a point guard, and now starting to play that position.
Palacios fouled before the shot.
Lofton off the drive, just a little bounce pass, and you can see using the left hand, but also using the rim to shield off Juan Palacios from blocking that shot. Chris Lofton has had a lot of problems. 4 of his last 21, you can see down at the bottom of that graphic. He has not been able to get untracked, and Louisville's done a good job of limiting his catch-and-shoot opportunities.
That's for a man that averaged 15.5 a game on the season to lead Tennessee. Lowers into the game quickly, the freshman in the backcourt now. Louisville as Sosa also in there, misses the runner. Here come the Volunteers, down by only 5. All the way, Jawan Smith, that'll be goaltending on Earl Clark of Louisville, and it's a 37-34 game.
Nobody stops the ball. That ball coming down after it hit the backboard, and Louisville not doing a very good job in their transition defense, and Jawan Smith taking advantage of it, really pushing the ball up the court.
Both of these defenses, such quick hands. Look at that again. Jawan Smith, he's all over the court. He's one of the finest defensive players we've seen all year.
Well, he leads the team in steals, and he's such a hard worker, never gives up on a play.
The Tennessee fans love it. They're within 3. And welcome back to Charlotte, where Tennessee has pulled within 3 of Louisville. And there's Denny Crum, the Hall of Famer, led the Cardinals to 2 national titles, 1980 and 1986. Part of the great history of this Louisville basketball program, and of course an assistant early on, John Wooden in UCLA, and we sent along our very best to the coach, who's back home finally, and I know that right away builds his emotional and mental health to be back where he's comfortable. Another steal by Tennessee, and out ahead alone is Jawan Smith, and it's a 1-point game. 12 for Jawan Smith. And the turnovers and steals, defense have been the story. Jawan Smith a little too aggressive in the block, and Terrence Williams fouled by Smith, his 2nd. Well, Bruce Pearl with a smile says, yes, our offense is organized chaos. Now, the defense could qualify there as well. It is chaotic on the defensive end.
Forcing 16 Louisville turnovers, and Edgar Sosa being taken out of the game. He's not only had foul trouble in the first half, he's had turnover trouble as well.
Once a 16-point lead in the middle of the first half for Louisville is down to a point. 3.5 minutes into the second half.
David Padgett has not touched the ball. He needs to. Needs to stabilize this Louisville offense.
There he is. Spins on the baseline. Misses the reverse dunk. Tried to go underneath. Hit the rim. Gets it back, however.
Good things happen when Padgett touches the ball. He makes good decisions. People can work off him. They know that he can deliver the ball.
Look how empty it is underneath. And finding that gap in the defense is Andre McGee for the easy layup. He has 11 to lead Louisville.
McGee was working off of Padgett. It was Padgett that set that little back pick. So even when he doesn't touch the ball, David Padgett can influence the game by setting a great screen.
Louisville by 3.
2-3 zone now for Louisville.
Lofton still empty from field goal range. Long pass ahead to Earl Clark. He drops it home. And Louisville with back-to-back hoops opens up a 5-point lead.
And how about the outlet pass by David Padgett off the rebound?
Lamar Smith. And the foul. The basket good. Duke Cruz with 2 plus 1.
Not a lot of hesitation by Tennessee. Even after a basket, they push it down the floor. Lamar Smith, the combo point, gets it to Duke Cruz for the finish.
Beautiful late night in March in Charlotte, the Queen City. Spring has arrived. As we look at the tournament summary, congratulations to Xavier into the Elite Eight for the second time with their overtime win against West Virginia. North Carolina with their victory over Washington State 23 times now into the Elite Eight. And you put that in perspective when you look at Tennessee, a fine program. They have never advanced to the last 8 in the tournament.
Really amazing the history that North Carolina has had, the success. And mentioned 2004, last time Xavier was in the Elite Eight. Thad Matta was their coach.
Oh my, at the other end is Terrence Williams. A quick score, and that's what Louisville will do. You drop your head and they'll get the quick break, and Bruce Pearl doesn't like that.
Just over the top, beating them down court, and a great pass ahead by Preston Knowles, and the finish by Terrence Williams just got caught perhaps a bit on the head by Wayne Chisholm.
And that's the third foul on Chisholm.
And the kind of cheap one you don't want to pick up.
Williams unable to convert the three-point play. It remains a 4-point game.
Back to the 2-3 zone. This is a very active zone. A lot of man principles in it.
Jawan Smith pulls up. And there's a push underneath against Tennessee. That's going to be against Duke Cruz.
It's not a smart play. Didn't have inside position. That's an obvious call. And I think the smarter team down the stretch is going to have the better opportunity to win it.
Well, smart often translates into being patient, but how can you be patient the way these two teams play defense?
Well, it's hard when you're under pressure, but that's where poise comes in. You got to be strong with the ball and make sure you don't go too fast and rush into a decision. Now, that's a bad play by David Padgett. Just leaned into it. That's an easy call by the official.
And that's his third foul out in the open where the official couldn't help but see this bump moving into J.P. Prince.
You know, as a big guy, you've got to stay stationary and let your teammates use the screen. And he's too experienced to make a mistake like that, especially when it puts him at risk, picking up his third foul with just under 15 to go in the game.
4-point advantage, Louisville. Tennessee with the ball. 14:40 left in the second half.
Need to get the ball to Tyler Smith in the middle. He's the one that can do the damage.
Cast up a 15-footer. Lamar Smith into the alley, and he can't score. But he gets back and has it taken away by Earl Clark. Long pass. Padgett. Oh, my. The big fella outrunning the defense. And it's a 6-point Louisville lead. Padgett has his first field goal.
He picks his spots very well, doesn't he?
To the other end, and Tyler Smith has it rejected. That was the freshman, Preston Knowles.
Not a smart play by Tyler Smith. Nothing there. Padgett was waiting for him. No need to force that play.
Clark with a solid move to the goal. Earl Clark, and suddenly Louisville, having its lead reduced to 1, jumps back out in front by 8. Duke Cruz forcing the shot.
Just nothing there. Now, there's no reason to get it in the middle and force something over Padgett when he is waiting there, and you haven't made him move by moving the ball from side to side.
6 unanswered for Louisville, and they've got the ball looking for more. Clark makes it an 8-point run. And the Cardinal fans are on their feet celebrating a 10-point lead.
And a technical foul on Preston Knowles for jawing right at Tyler Smith. That's a bad play by the freshman.
And we'll return to Charlotte after these words.
A lot of people are like, aren't you too young to invest in the markets? And, you know, A, don't worry about it. I mean, you don't know how old I am. And B, I use E-Trade, so check it. Click. I just bought stock. You just saw me buy stock. No big deal. I mean, you know, if I can do it, you can do it. Whoa.
It's so easy. Trades from $6.99 to $9.99. There are 1,000 new accounts a day at E-Trade.
Welcome back. Charlotte, North Carolina. Rick Pitino pleading his case after the technical foul called on his freshman guard, Preston Knowles. At first he said, pointing to himself, "Is it on me?" And that allowed him to come over and debate. He knew against whom it was called.
Oh, yeah, he knew it wasn't on him, but what he was pleading at first was you need to call it on Tyler Smith as well, because what happened was right after that play in the timeout called by Bruce Pearl in order to stop all this momentum, Preston Knowles got down almost in a catcher's crouch and began screaming, and he was screaming right at Tyler Smith, and Tyler Smith moved toward him with something to say back. And the referee saw the entire action and called it on Knowles.
You put the best free throw shooter in the conference at the line. Chris Lofton yet to hit from the field, but this is 3 for 3 now at the line. So that negates the field goal at the other end for Louisville. 2 free throws after Preston Knowles with a technical.
You can see Preston Knowles right here. And after this timeout's called, you can see Tyler Smith over here. That's who he turns to and starts screaming. See him right there? And then Smith moves right toward him to say something back, and the referees caught all that action and called it on Knowles. Just an unnecessary action by Knowles that in most instances, if he just screamed at the air, he would have been fine. But when you directed another player, you're asking for it.
And the turnover is going to go to Louisville, I believe. Last touch from our angle by the Cardinal. No, they're going to keep it at Tennessee. Well, Knowles is an outstanding freshman from Winchester, Kentucky, and when he was recruited, the one knock on him is, and he said, "I'm so emotional," and he showed freshman emotions there. Oh, left alone is Prince, and he's blocked by Clark. That was a golden opportunity for Tennessee to get back within 6.
A terrific play, an outstanding recovery of Terrence Williams, such a great athlete. And it was a terrific move by J.P. Prince to get open.
There's the pass by Padgett. That's what you're talking about. The big man is a point center. Comes outside, finds the open man. The basket +1.
And a beautiful cut by Earl Clark. On the out-of-bounds play underneath. Very nice move by J.P. Prince. Goes up with the left hand, and Terrence Williams blocks it. And not enough pressure on the ball, and a very nice back cut and a smart play by Earl Clark. Just a step and go. And Padgett, an outstanding passer, finds him. And you can see the enthusiasm shown by Padgett, who really stepped forward as a leader. Missed 10 games this year with a broken kneecap. Many thought that his career was over. But came back, was first team All Big East after only playing 400-some minutes. And that's how valuable he is. Voted by the coaches unanimously first team All Big East.
And Jay Billis was a double penalty for Tennessee. Not only a 3-point play for Louisville, but the 4th foul on Tyler Smith, one of their top performers. And Smith has to take a seat. He's their top rebounder and 3rd leading scorer at 14 a game.
Not sure how long Bruce Pearl is going to be able to keep him out. They need his versatility on the floor.
That was Clark coming out to block Lofton's 3-point attempt.
This Louisville team is so good defensively. They give you so many different looks.
McGee misses. Here's Lofton. And the foul's going to be, and the basket's allowed. The first goal by Chris Lofton in the game.
Edgar Sosa is really having a tough game. The sophomore, solid player, just didn't move his feet to get over. No need to foul on this play. You got to stop the ball, but stop it a little bit earlier. And backpedaling into the lane. And this is not an area where you want to foul and foul so softly to give Chris Lofton a chance to bank it off the glass and move to the lane for a three-point play.
McGee comes out, and Jerry Smith back in the backcourt for Louisville as Lofton toes the line looking for his 7th point. He's a perfect 4 for 4 from the charity. That becomes a 3-point play. Tennessee back within 8. Ooh, a near steal by Jawan Smith. Terrence Williams skids to a stop. Jerry Smith turned down the 3.
Williams probably got away with the walk, and right now with the over pursuit at times of the Tennessee defense, if Louisville starts using some pass fakes, some ball fakes, they can wind up getting something good.
Character back into the game. Can't get inside. Patchett on the bench. 4 on the shot clock. Terrence Williams to Character. In and out, and he gets it back for a moment. Oh, and a scramble and a timeout called by Lofton as he embraced the ball. 11:29 to go. Bruce Pearl's Volunteers have called time. They have the ball, trailing by 9 with 11:29 left. Back in downtown Charlotte, Louisville leading Tennessee by 8. The ball's pulled within 1, and then the Cardinals slipped it into high gear. Moved out to an 11-point lead. Now it's 8, and at the line, well, no shooting here. Wayne Chisholm was going to be at the line, we thought, but apparently not. Team foul 6 now on Louisville, so the next will send Tennessee to the line. Tennessee with 5 team fouls. Last foul was on Sosa. This is Palacios coming in for Louisville. They got their big lineup on the court. Here in Charlotte, 11 minutes to go. Tennessee in white trailing Louisville by 8. Volunteers with the ball. Lofton awakening somewhat here in the second half after a quiet first half. That Chisholm missing in tight, and then it's last touch by Louisville out of bounds by Character.
Louisville had gone to a man-to-man, and Tennessee running their wide flex offense had gotten a nice ball reversal look down low, and that's a play that Tennessee has got to finish. Those are point-blank shots that they've got to put down.
Patino substitute short for tall. And Duke Cruz having trouble handling the ball. Now J.P. Prince will set it up. Tennessee is led only at 5-2 early in the game. 16 points was the big advantage for Louisville in the first half. Lofton takes it inside. Finger roll is partially blocked by Earl Clark.
Athletic play by Clark to make that recovery. It looked like Lofton was going to be able to get all the way to the 10 before it was sent back.
McGee manipulating on the outside, and then Clark showing again his powerful first step, and a foul. A reminder, NCAA March Madness On Demand is streaming every game from the NCAA Championship online, and it's for free. You can watch any game anytime at the new NCAA.com. Last foul on Derek Character, an offensive foul. As we approach the midpoint of this second 20-minute period with Louisville in front. 52-44 to the Cardinals. Lofton finally free for 3, and he misses that one. Had a good look at it. Tries again from the corner. Another miss. Lofton, a superb three-point shooter, but he's 0 for 6 from outside the line against Louisville today.
Both opportunities look good leaving his hand, especially the second one, just in and out.
And a check foul goes against Jawan Smith of Tennessee. His third. Padgett on the floor playing with 3 fouls for Louisville.
And as poorly as Tennessee has shot the ball and as poorly as they've executed on offense, they still find themselves down just 8.
Earl Clark has it knocked away, was able to pick it up. Back inside to Clark. And the whistle before the shot. No goaltending. Fans for Louisville wanted it, but the whistle had killed the play before the shot.
Smart play by Louisville to go back inside to Clark on the repost. He lost the ball in the first opportunity and went right back to him.
Third foul on Duke Cruz sends Earl Clark, the rangy 6'8" sophomore, to the line, averaging 11 points a game, and he's looking for his 14th tonight as Big Brian Williams into the Tennessee lineup replaces Cruz. And McGee goes out, and Edgar Sosa replaces him. Sosa will be playing with 4 fouls.
And Clark is really a nice lift off the bench for this Louisville team. It started some games, but Patino likes him much better off the bench.
Brian Williams, 267-pound freshman, has the rebound. The dump off to Williams is stolen. Here comes Sosa. And the foul could have been on Jawan Smith. We'll see. If it is, that would be his 4th. It is, and that's a critical call. So Tyler Smith and Jawan Smith, 2 of the top scorers for Tennessee, are saddled with 4 fouls.
And that's going to take away some of their aggressiveness on the defensive end. Tennessee insists on trying to challenge David Padgett off of no passes. And Padgett is too good of a defender. He is not going to bite on that. And more often than not, it's been a bad shot or a turnover for Tennessee as a result.
Sosa looking for his first point of the game. Sophomore from Rice High School in the city. Coast City Player of the Year with Curtis Kelly, well on to UConn. Averaging 7.6 on the season.
An emotional player. He's got a lot of talent, got a chance to be very good. Just needs to manage his emotions, become a more consistent player.
Back to a 10-point lead for Louisville with 9 minutes plus remaining. The winner gets North Carolina on Saturday. The #1 Tar Heels, very impressive in disposing of Washington State earlier here tonight.
Without Tyler Smith in the game, you don't have that playmaker in the middle of this zone.
Lofton inside the line, unable to hit. There's Clark up high for the rebound.
And it's been 1 shot and out for Tennessee. No offensive rebound opportunities in the second half. At some point, Bruce Pearl's going to have to decide when to bring back Tyler Smith and Jawan Smith to make a run at Louisville.
Inside to Padgett. And he is fouled. Prince with a reach-in. Part of the story in this game, 3-point shooting, and Tennessee able to hit only 2 of 14. Well, Saturday, folks, at 2:30 Eastern. This is always a terrific game. NCAA Division II, Augusta State. They beat Alaska Anchorage, and Winona State took out Bentley tonight. So it's Augusta State, Winona State, just prior to the road to the Final Four Saturday here on CBS at 2:30 Eastern. Unable to hit the front end, looking for his 5th point of the game.
Padgett can really dominate a game without scoring. Just his smarts, his leadership, how vocal he is in the back of that defense, really gives commands. He doesn't just talk. He tells his teammates exactly what to do, and they listen to him.
He's a 65% shooter, but comes up empty on those 2 tries. Tennessee has made only 2 of their last 13 shots. They need somebody to connect. How about Lofton? Finally, it's the tray. Chris Lofton, one of the finalists for the Senior Class Award that will be announced a week from Saturday from San Antonio.
Here's where Tennessee needs to get a stop. Pick up that momentum again. They need to do it on the defensive end.
7-point Cardinal lead. There's the alley-oop to Williams, and the foul running under on P.J. Prince.
Louisville just moving the ball from side to side. Then the back pick by Earl Clark, and the athlete Terrence Williams going up for it. Nice pass by J.P. Prince on the penetration off ball reversal. And when you get the ball to Lofton where he can set his feet and he doesn't have to shoot on the move, that's when he's at his best.
That's a big whistle on Tennessee because it presents double bonus from now on for Louisville. Terrence Williams has his 7th point to go with 8 rebounds. Back comes the freshman Preston Knowles as Patchett takes a seat. So Rick Pitino goes small here in this sequence.
Well, Williams is such a skilled athlete. Mentioned before, he's had 2 triple doubles on the season. And he's had some opportunities for more. Had one game where he had 9 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists.
And there's this almost a steal deflected right back to Prince. He's had 2 double-doubles, and in the history of Louisville basketball, they've only had 4, and he's got 2 of them this year.
See that middle wide open against this 2-3 zone, but nobody's in there. Chisholm trying to go in there now. But that's usually where Tyler Smith would be. He's on the bench with 4 fouls.
Well, Lofton setting up for a 3, and he had his pocket picked by Clark. And was timeout called? No, the ball goes off Chisholm out of bounds to Louisville. That's a big sequence there. Opportunity lost for Tennessee. The Cardinals maintain their lead by 9.
Jay.
All right, Greg, so it looks like it'll be the Bruins against Xavier for the West Region title and the trip to the Final Four. Here, North Carolina waits either Louisville or Tennessee, and the Cardinals of Louisville have the 9-point lead with 7.5 minutes to go.
Louisville lifting up this Tennessee defense. They've gotten some back cuts, some back picks.
Using a little clock here, and Clark lost it momentarily. Sosa pulls up from 15, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Sosa. No basket, and that'll be all for Sosa, his 5th foul.
Well, a late call, but the right call. Sosa with the discard with the left arm. You can see that's as he's rising up, but he had already discarded the defender, the referee right on top of it, just late.
2 points for Sosa as he is DQ'd on the 5th foul.
Never able to get a rhythm when he came into the game. Picked up 2 in the first half right away, sat most of the half.
So with 7 minutes, 7 seconds to go here in Charlotte. Berth in the Elite 8 of this 2008 National Championship awaits either Louisville or Tennessee. North Carolina, the opponent, the number 1 of all the number 1 seeds.
This is where Tennessee needs to start its push. Tyler Smith, Juwan Smith back on the floor, and Juwan Smith turns it over right away on a post feed.
Terrence Williams with a steal. Williams with a beautiful move, and the payoff gives Louisville the 11-point lead. 10 for Terrence Williams.
There's too much ball watching by Tennessee. Nobody coming over from the weak side to stop that drive. And this is the one area where I think Terrence Williams can do more of. The nice little fake and the refusal of the ball screen up top, instead taking it left. And he is such a great athlete. Throughout the first couple years of his career, I thought he settled for 3-point shots too often. Over half his shots were threes last year. A little bit lower of a percentage of his shots are threes this year. But with his athleticism, when he attacks the goal, you're going to have to foul him. And he's going to shoot a heck of a lot more free throws than he shoots right now.
Rick Pitino sends in 3 of his stars, Palacios, Smith, and Padgett, here at the 6:29 mark, as Ramar Smith seeks his 4th point of the game. Duke Cruz returns for Tennessee, replacing Wayne Chisholm. Smith sophomore, solid, 7.5 points off the bench. 1 out of 2. Palacios collects it for Louisville. 10-point Cardinal lead.
Louisville doesn't necessarily want to slow things down. They just want to be deliberate. If you get something early, take it. If not, work off of Padgett and make Tennessee guard. They're in foul trouble. Move them from side to side and then attack.
No-look pass from Terrence Williams, and it's a 12-point advantage for the Birds.
What a beautiful pass by Williams, and again attacking the rim. When he attacks off the dribble, so much more effective and hard to stop.
At 6'6", Terrence Williams has led Louisville in assists this year. Lofton from downtown. Chris Lofton with a big hit. He needed that. It's 60-51 Louisville. 13 now for Lofton, who's awakened here in the second half.
That's not like it was an open shot, but Chris Lofton, his coach Bruce Pearl last year called him the best contested shooter in America. And that was definitely a contested shot.
That'll be a foul on Prince. His 4th.
Williams, the pass after drawing Duke Cruz to him to try to stop that penetration on the baseline side. Just gets by Lofton. And nobody helps over. That was Tyler Smith's responsibility to come over from the weak side and rotate to try to cut off that passing alley.
Little passing prestidigitation from Terrence Williams. And he now visits the line looking for his 11th point to go with 8 rebounds and some clever assists. He's not a good free throw shooter. His one weakness, hitting 56% on the year. There's the foul situation. Sosa out, Knowles in trouble. Tyler Smith and Jawan Smith and J.P. Prince all with 4 for Tennessee.
And you don't want to take away the aggressiveness of Tyler or Jawan Smith, but they just have to be smart down the stretch.
Williams misses both. Louisville 5 for 11. Whoa, rough foul by Padgett as he levels the drive of Ramar Smith. Yeah, Ramar Smith, he's not afraid to take it hard to the goal, is he?
Padgett just putting him on his backside, not allowing him to have the easy score. And Ramar Smith, that's what he does. He has shot the second most free throws on this team behind Tyler Smith because of his ability to tap the basket off the dribble.
4th foul on Padgett. Let's see if Patino brings him out here. No, he's going to substitute for Palacios as Earl Clark, who has had an outstanding game, returns. Smith to cut it to 7. Misses another. So he's 2 for 5 from the line.
And when you don't convert on free throws, that means Tennessee can't put pressure on full court.
Welcome to Friday morning here in the East. Charlotte, North Carolina with 5 minutes to go. Ooh, a clever move by Terrence Williams. And the foul underneath on Ramar Smith, his second.
Great strength shown by Terrence Williams on the drive, and a nice hesitation move as well. He's got such a good handle, and he's such a good passer that when the ball's in his hands, when he can attack off the dribble, I think he's that much more dangerous.
As a sophomore last year, he led Louisville in scoring, rebounds, and assists. You don't see that very often. The same player leading in assists and rebounds, and he's right there again this year. Leads in assists, and his second in rebounds was 7.3 a game. Back to a 10-point Louisville lead. Lofton, it's blocked, but saved by Tyler Smith, and then ripped down on the rebound by Character.
Well, a lot of contact on that shot, but no call. And give Jerry Smith a lot of credit for getting out and recovering to Chris Lofton, taking that shot, getting a piece of it.
4.5 to go. Louisville can be patient if that's in their character. Earl Clark with an easy throwdown, and it's up to a dozen for Louisville. Things looking bright for the Cardinals, who have just 4:22 to dispose of, and Rick Pitino's in another Elite Eight.
Very good closeout by Jerry Smith just to get a piece of that shot with the late pressure, and then the contact by Earl Clark not called. And really nice job by Terrence Williams to get into the middle. There's help up, and that allowed Earl Clark the easy finish.
At the line is Ramar Smith. He's now 2 for 6 from the charity.
There's some long faces over on that Tennessee bench. There's still over 4 minutes to go. That's a long time in this game.
Another miss. Lofton with a hustle play tried to bat it off the Cardinal Jerry Smith unsuccessfully. So Bruce Pearl now in desperate straits. 12 points down, 4:19 to go. He needs some good defensive stops, some steals, and somebody to come up with a hot hand here late.
You know, the situation feels desperate, and there's definitely some foul trouble that's an issue for Tennessee, but there's a long way to go in this game. A couple of shots drop, a couple of stops, and all of a sudden there's going to be some game pressure on Louisville.
McGee into character, and he misses the easy bank, but he gets it right back. Scores, and a foul on Chisholm. And now the Cardinal fans feel they have it. They're on their feet with 4 minutes to go and a 14-point advantage.
Well, that's the kind of play that can deflate you. You force the miss, and then the offensive rebound and foul. Now Derek Character can step to the line to complete a three-point play, just out-hustling Tennessee.
And he converts a three-point play, has 9 in the game. Again, Louisville showing such great balance as Smith comes out.
And Rick Pitino can shuttle guys in and out off that bench, and the bench has been very productive for Louisville in this game.
Knowles, the freshman, such a good defender, comes in. Every possession precious now for Tennessee. They need to come up with points on each ownership. Lofton, and the bump from Clark. That'll stop the clock at the 3:45 mark with the Louisville Cardinals with a sizable lead in Charlotte. The balance and depth of the Louisville Cardinals on display here in Charlotte, in a 15-point lead with 3:45 to go. On the regular season, their top 5 scorers were ranging from 8.5 a game to Padgett 11.5. That tightly squeezed. Nobody really being the big scorer, but everyone getting into the act, and so it has been again here in Charlotte tonight, with Clark leading the way with 15, Williams with 12, McGee with 11, Smith with 9, Character with 9. And the bench has been critical, with Louisville outscoring Tennessee 26-9. Lofton 6 in a row from the free throw line and 14 points in the game. Meanwhile, Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, making quite a rally against UCLA. They pulled within 6 out in Phoenix. And we'll get you out to the conclusion of that game as we follow the final 3:45 here in Charlotte. Terrence Williams sets up Earl Clark, and Clark with his 17th point, leading all scorers.
Clark has had a terrific game, a double-figure rebound game as well, and Louisville's got to get back in transition, protect that three-point line. That's the one area. Oh, bad play, but lucky for Louisville, they didn't get scored upon.
Chisholm hit the 3 and had a chance for another quick score, but there's the kick by Ramar Smith out of bounds to Louisville at the 3:14 mark.
A terrific pass by Terrence Williams, and Earl Clark has really come forward, not only in this game, but over his last 6 games. Young man's he's got star written all over him. Great talent, and he's starting to understand the game and really assert himself. And his work ethic has really improved.
Double-double for Clark tonight, 7 out of 10 from the floor, 10 rebounds. Padgett has been fouled by Smith. And David Padgett, a 65% free throw shooter, will go to the line.
And Tennessee's had some opportunities to get back into this game. So you could see with just over 4 minutes, when we got a shot of the bench, Tennessee looked so down, almost as if they'd packed it in. I know the bench is a lot different than the players on the floor, but when Derek Character got that stick back and took it from 12 to 15, I think that was a real body blow to Tennessee and their chances to come back.
Both teams in the double bonus. Patchett now with 7 points in the game to match his rebound total. Back to a 14 advantage. Exactly 3 minutes to go here in Charlotte. And for Louisville, 3 minutes to book their spot in the Final 8 against the North Carolina Tar Heels. That'll be the late game on Saturday here. 9 o'clock start.
Louisville going with man-to-man to try to take away the three-point opportunities that Tennessee will be looking for.
Clark with his 11th rebound. Williams bouncing into the offensive end. The freshman fires Knowles and does not hit. Not sure Pitino was happy with the shot with their lead and the quick trigger from the kid from Winchester, Kentucky.
Yeah, not sure they needed it, but at the same time, Pitino probably doesn't want to take away their aggressiveness. What they really want to do now is make sure they're aggressive defensively and don't allow open threes. If they give up a drive, that's one thing. They don't want to give up an open three-point opportunity.
Lamar Smith, a give and go to score, and the spin off the glass. He has 6. Louisville breaks the press, and then that'll be a dual possession. Arrow points to Louisville. Well, for Rick Pitino, he's never lost in this round, the Sweet 16. This would make 8-0 for him in his career. And it'll be 14 straight times he's defeated a Tennessee basketball team.
Really an incredible career. Took Providence to the Final Four in 1987 when Billy Donovan was his best player. Took a few teams at Kentucky. Took Louisville in 2005. Knows how to build a program and knows how to win.
2 minutes to go. Louisville is about as patient as they've been the entire game on this possession. That won't last for long with 6 seconds on the clock. The spin move and the score by Jerry Smith.
Jerry Smith so strong in the first half, and very nicely done by Earl Clark to get pressure on that three.
Turnover, and Patchett quickly feeds into the offensive end, and Smith will circle as the Louisville fans stand and cheer this team from the Big East. They were check that, 14-4 in Big East competition this year. One of the top teams in the country. They were ranked 13th at season's end, the 4th seed going into the tournament. And with 1:15 to go, they're all but locking up the win as we salute tonight's Chevrolet players of the game. Earl Clark, what a game. Double-double for Clark, the sophomore, and Juwan Smith, 12 points and 3 steals. He was solid early, but like so many of the Tennessee Volunteers, there wasn't that one player that stepped up and inspired a rally as the Louisville Cardinals led by 16 in the first half. Tennessee finally whittled that down to 1 early in the second half, and then Louisville built it back up to the current 15-point Louisville lead. And now matching the largest lead of the game on McGee's 2 free throws.
And Louisville's going to present an awful lot of problems for North Carolina with the way they can change defenses, the size they have, the athleticism. It's just a question of how the Cardinals shoot it.
Yeah, the way Clark has played tonight, and then you got the big bodies of Palacios and Character. It's going to be an interesting match on Saturday in the Elite Eight. North Carolina and Louisville, 2 teams that know the way to the Final Four. That's the final foul on Juwan Smith, his 5th. So Smith, the senior, leaves his last game as a Tennessee Volunteer. 12 points in the game. And how about Western Kentucky? We understand they continue to rally. They're within 5 of UCLA. Bruins led by, I believe, 20 points in that game. Lofton, his final game, the senior from Maysville, Kentucky. He leaves with 15.
Just a great career for Chris Lofton.
Smith hits them both, and Louisville, with 1 minute to go, enjoys its largest lead of the game. Lamar Smith rejected by Clark. Tyler Smith And he's fouled.
And the last time Louisville won a national championship in 1986, they beat North Carolina on the way to that title.
Volunteers of Bruce Pearl with their winningest season ever, 31 victories for Bruce Pearl. But it wasn't enough for them to get on to the Elite Eight for the first time ever in school history.
Well, the foul trouble hurt Tennessee. The perimeter shooting, the lack of a scorer to step forward. Chris Lofton had a very difficult night, especially in the first half where he didn't have a field goal.
Terrence Williams gets a big hand as he goes out. Williams was all over. 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Tyler Smith with a free throw. Here comes Preston Knowles back in for Louisville. Rick Pitino working this game right down to the final second. He comes in for Jerry Smith. Smith and his backcourt mate starting the game, Andre McGee, 9 points each in the first half that kick-started Louisville to this win. 13 points each as they match their scoring totals. McGee and Smith. But this is the man, Clark, setting up Patchett. Earl Clark, what a game he's had. For those of you that have not seen a lot of Louisville this year, perhaps don't even know the name Earl Clark, but he is some solid player. 17 points, 12 rebounds for Clark. And he picks up that loose ball. Out of bounds to Louisville, and that'll do it. The final 20 seconds of the game will run off in the possession of the Cardinals. Palacios in, and Clark goes out. And the bench stands to applaud this young guy. What a sophomore.
Just getting better and better as a player. And the thing I think Rick Pitino most proud of with Earl Clark, his work ethic continues to get better and better as well. And he's seeing great strides as a player.
Well, a great season for Tennessee. 31 wins. Their best ever comes to an end. But it's all right ahead. Halfway to the championship. Into the Elite Eight. The Louisville Cardinals. They win at 79-60. We go to Greg Gumbel in New York. But it's all right ahead. Halfway to the championship. Into the Elite Eight. The Louisville Cardinals.
A sweet performance by U of L in the Sweet 16 as they eliminate 2-seed Tennessee. And Western Kentucky battles back from a big halftime deficit but falls short against UCLA. Good evening, I'm Vicki Dorch. Rick will have more on a great fight back by the Hilltoppers in just a moment. But first, a fine overall team performance carries U of L basketball into the Elite Eight of the NCAA Tournament. The Cards took care of Tennessee in Charlotte. Fred Calgill watched it all happen. Hi, Fred.
Hey, Vic. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina. How sweet it is in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. U of L Men's Basketball tonight advances to the Elite Eight with a decisive win over Tennessee. Louisville's record now 27-8, and Rick Pitino just one win away from going to his 6th Final Four. Let's go to the videotape and show you exactly how it happened. We pick it up in the first frame, and it was still pretty close. U of L by 6 when Jerry Smith hit a 3. 17-8 U of L. Smith had 13 points on the night. U of L in an 18-1 run up by 14. Terrence Williams with the Air Express from Interstate 40, 24-8 Cards. A 16-point lead. Still first frame, U of L's lead was down to 5. Then Earl Clark with a steal to Derek Character for the dunk, 30-23. Louisville was in front. Final play of the first half. Watch for Andre McGee, who had a heroic performance with a buzzer beater. Louisville led 37-30 at the break. Andre finished with 13 points and 3 assists. Second frame, more of the same. 12 minutes left, U of L up by 8. Earl Clark with an old-fashioned three-point play. 52-41 U of L, part of a 15-5 run. 8 minutes left in the game, U of L by 10. Kentucky's Chris Lofton, bombing the Vols back within 7, down 54-47. But he had a tough night, made just 3 of 15 shots. The rest all Cards, up by 10, 6 minutes left. Williams to David Padgett. What a pass! Watch it again, 60-48 U of L. Padgett finished with 10 points and 8 rebounds on the night. 4 minutes left, U of L up by 10. Clark again with a dunk again. He had 17 points and 12 rebounds off the bench, 64-52 Louisville. Same score, 4 minutes left. Character with another old-fashioned three-point play, 67-52 Louisville. U of L won it 79-60. Reaction from the Cards.
We talked before the game, and I said, look, guys, you haven't faced anybody like this year. I said, but I have back in the 90s at Kentucky when we used to play Arkansas with Nolan Richardson. They were that type of team where their hands are always in there grabbing at it. And I said, you've got to be strong going back door. You can't beat them coming to the ball. Our respect level for them is off the charts because they've taken on a lot of teams. But our team, we've seen every style of play this year. We haven't seen what Tennessee gives you.
I think it's improved a lot, over the course of the season. Coach has really talked about, deny pressure, really trying to force steals and turnovers. But today, as far as offense, we did a terrible job in the first half. We had a lot of turnovers, with their denial and their pressure was pretty good, but we stepped it up in the second half, made them throw the ball out of bounds a couple times.
Yeah, we just wanted to come out and be aggressive. In the first half, they kind of pushed us out of our offense a little bit, so Coach just told us make hard cuts, and that's what we did, and we got open looks.
So, U of L advances to the Elite Eight, and you can see that game Saturday night at 9 o'clock right here on News Channel 32. What a sexy matchup. It's Louisville and top overall seed North Carolina. And coming up later, just a few minutes from now, we'll have more post-game reaction from the Cards. But for now, from Charlotte, North Carolina, I'm Fred Cowgill, WLKY, News Channel 32 Sports.
All right, thank you, Fred. Now, tonight's big win means the Cards move on to face the top seed in the East and the top overall seed in the entire tournament, North Carolina, on Saturday. The Tar Heels took care of Washington State 68-47. Game time is set for about 9:05 Saturday night, and you'll be able to see it right here on News Channel 32, your exclusive home for the road to the Final Four. NCAA Tournament after a 79-60 win over Tennessee. Let's go back to Fred Cowgill live in Charlotte with more post-game reaction. Fred?
Hey, Vic, and hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina. It's getting quiet now, but it was a busy evening here, to say the least. North Carolina winning the first game of the doubleheader, and Louisville winning the nightcap in decisive fashion over a Tennessee team ranked as high as number 1 during the regular season. But it's the Cards who survive and advance. Not just survive, but it was a big win, 19 points, understandably making it a very happy Cards locker room.
It was good, it feels real good. We had 2 good games, in the first 2 rounds, and then this game was an all-out total war. Guys are tired, and then we have one day to prepare for the best team in the country, so it's going to be a tough road for us, but, that's what the tournament's about.
We're happy that we're still playing, but at the same time, all 7 other teams are still want to keep going too. You can't be just complacent with getting to the Elite Eight. You want to keep going, but we're still enjoying the fact that we're winning, and we're just going to try to keep it going as long as we can.
In a game like this, you got to throw everything out the window and just play. You got to – they play so much intensity into defense. You got to know how to see what defense they in, come out. It's a very fast game, but, I think this team was very prepared for it.
Do you like the way that you guys played?
Yeah, when you get up 20-18 or whatever against a team that was former number 1 in the country, it says, it speaks volumes for your team. It shows that they wasn't nervous, they wasn't scared on this type of stage, even though majority of the team never been here. We're just going out like, a deer, in the headlights. We're trying to go out and play and have fun.
But avoid the car.
Oh, of course. We're trying to jump over the car or roll out the way or something.
The Cardinals now with a 27-8 record and just 1 win away from their first Final Four since 2005 in St. Louis. The next job for the Cardinals is tomorrow afternoon. We'll have more access for the media, news conferences between 1:30 and 3:30 with the Cardinals and the Tar Heels, and then their game for the Elite Eight and a spot in the Final Four Saturday night at 9 o'clock. Live game coverage right here on News Channel 32. From Charlotte, North Carolina, I'm Fred Cowgill, WLKY, News Channel 32 Sports.
Fred, I'm sure more U of L fans will be heading that way on Saturday. Any chance they can find any tickets?
Well, with this being a pseudo home court for North Carolina, Vic, it's going to be tough for Cardinals fans. It was about 80% Carolina blue in this arena tonight. You talk about a huge advantage. By the way, North Carolina has never lost in this arena. A little bit foreboding statistics. They've played the Tar Heels almost 200 games in Charlotte, just lost 18 times and unbeaten in this arena. Ouch.
Maybe Saturday will be another time. Thank you, Fred.
Yes, we'll see what happens. The Cardinals should do well.
We'll be right back.
All right, Reese, moving on to the East, the 2 and 3 seeds, Bruce Pearl in Tennessee, Rick Pitino in Louisville, couple of colorful head coaches. Chris Lofton and the Vols are 0-4 all-time in regional semifinal games. Tyler Smith, air ball. And down at the other end, Terrence Williams, uncontested. Cardinals on an 18-1 run. Bruce Pearl's team shot 34% for the game, 5 of 10 from 3. For example, that Lofton 3 blocked by Earl Clark. Lofton is fine in college game. Just 3 of 15 shooting, 15 points. Williams to David Paget. The Cardinals, by the way, shot 52%. How do you like that pass? Only the second time this season Tennessee held to 60 points or less. This time it's Williams to Clark. He had 17 and 12. Rick Pitino will have the opportunity to try and advance to his 6th Final Four.
The last 3 games, our offense and our defense have all been clicking. There have been other games where our offense has clicked or our defense has clicked, but our defense has stayed constant most of the year.
We struggled all night long, and Louisville deserves a great deal of credit for that. Been coaching a long time, and never has the tempo of the game been dictated so much by an opponent.
That two-way credit to Rick Pitino. 8-0 in Sweet 16 games. That's dating back to his Providence days. 35-11 in all-time NCAA tournament games. Second best mark among active coaches, just ahead of his protege, one of them, Billy Donovan. If Pitino's Cardinals win it all this year, he'll pass Coach K for the best tournament winning percentage among all active coaches.
And be careful. Be careful. and he just is, I think, a real asset in every aspect of let's play, let's keep going. And you've got to have a guy like that if you're going to be good. And I think Paget is that for Louisville, plus what he gives them inside.
Yep, that's it. That's what it's going to come down to. I think you're going to find character in Paget really trying to get Hansbrough in foul trouble. They're going to attack him inside. That's going to be interesting to see how they contain Tyler Hansbrough and what he can do with points in the paint.
Tell you one thing, he doesn't foul Hansbrough. One thing about him, he stays on the floor, and he's a great second-half player. I think the difference right now why Carolina is sensational is the play of Lawson. He has been absolutely superb.
Healthy and fresh after being out several games with the bad ankle, and now he's 100% and hoping to take North Carolina to the Final Four, but the Cardinals standing in the way.
Thank you, gentlemen. North Carolina, the 1 seed in the East, only the 5th team since 1961, 7th overall to win its first 3 games of the tournament by at least 20 points, 20 or more. However, the previous teams to do so, only the '96 Kentucky Wildcats. The Pitino team won the whole tournament.